Well, in about 15 minutes, I've got my friend of mine, Jeff Stansberry, coming in. He's a lifelong resident of Cleveland. He operates Jeff's Auto Transport. I think he primarily details vehicles. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm going to find out. It's going to be a great discussion.
Motorized cooler where I've shopped is.
A motorized cooler?
Yeah, it's called cruising cooler.
You buy it? You bought one?
Nah, I got one. I won one at a auto auction one time. Yeah. And I left my shop, drove down to the Whoop, made me a circle through the radio station, then it Fro Daddy, it got him.
Is Fro Daddy older? He's older than us, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like 2 years or 3?
I hope he's older than me.
He may be a little older than that.
Yeah.
You ever notice when you school you think somebody's a lot older than you and you realize they were just 6 months older or something like that?
Yeah.
You know, you think, boy, I thought they were a lot older than me.
That's right.
I guess they were when they
Yeah.
were. But did you know Billy Lawson?
I did.
And his daddy, so no transported cars.
And
No.
Both transport and was in the car business. Yeah.
Are you in the transport business or the detail business?
I'm in the car business, wholesale car dealer.
So why does it say just transport?
I used to have trucks that hauled, and then I just kept the name for both businesses.
Because it's what the business was in.
Yeah.
A lot of businesses do that, but I knew you didn't transport.
Yeah, I was born and raised in the car business. From
That's
my dad.
all you've done.
That's all I've done. Turned 59 October 6th. I've done the car business my whole life.
I turned 59 November 10th.
Yeah.
Whenever you read a story in the newspaper or see something on television about somebody getting arrested, you naturally assume they're guilty. Unless the story's about you or someone you love, then you'll think differently. And you'll want a lawyer who will defend you. My name's Scott Canavis. If you or someone you love has been charged with a crime, call me. I'll return your phone calls, I'll work on your case, and I will defend you.
How old do you feel?
I don't want. I'm starting to feel my age a little bit more than I used to.
Where do you feel it?
Just kind of pretty much all through my body. I really didn't start feeling it till about probably 4 years ago, Dee. I really didn't.
My neck gets sore.
Yeah.
And it didn't used to get sore.
Yeah. I've had 3 back surgeries.
God, what was they from, lifting stuff?
I think started with a dirt track racing.
You were big into that.
I was.
Didn't you win some kind of a?
I finished second, like Southern All-Star Series championship. Then it went on to be the Hava Tampa Racing Dirt Track Series. Mm-hmm. Finished second in it a couple years. Never won it, but you know.
You mean dirt bike motorcycle?
No, late model stock car.
Oh.
Late model dirt cars. I run numerous times at Cleveland Speedway.
Oh.
You know, but I traveled and raced.
Was that scary?
No. You know,
Seemed to me like
sometimes you get in positions where it's a little bit, you know.
Do you ever have wrecks on them?
I want to think, yeah, I had one bad one at Cleveland. The accelerator hung wide open. I could not. That car was running so good that night. I went down in, I won't forget it, going in down turn 1. I was running second that night, and that car was just running so good. Mm-hmm. Went down in the corner in the turn 1, that car, and I started feeling that throttle not wanting to come up like it did, you know, and then it went down, and from the time I realized it, I was done in a wall. I knew I was going to hit the wall. I do remember trying to hold the brakes, and turn to get away from the man that was leading the race.
You remember saying, "Oh shit"?
I remember I was fixing to hit the wall and I blacked out. It destroyed the car. It even busted the motor in the car. Yeah, busted the motor in it. Yeah.
Can a man make a living at that, or is that just a young man's fling?
Some people do it, they say. It paid its way some of the times. Sometimes I had to get into my money. You know.
Who was it? Doc German? Did he do that? Remember Doc German?
Yeah, and I do remember him. You know, my dad told me he did. My dad was a drag racer, but I become a dirt track racer.
You mean at Brainerd?
I don't know if he ever run down there or not, but this was in the 60s. My dad done it, you know.
That was probably when Doc German was doing his. That was bigger then.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of Doc German's car and stuff. Yeah.
That was a big deal back then.
Yeah.
Not so much now.
No. You know, the tracks around here, there's one up in Sweetwater. There's a track there, and there's one over at Spring City. Neither one of those tracks I ever raced. They come along after me. The one at I-75 in Sweetwater did. And then the one in Spring City, it wasn't a track. It was a smaller track. Never raced there. I raced from late 85, started my career then, and I went to 2001.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it was.
Was that like on weekends?
Yeah. A lot of times, you know, sometimes I'd race through the week. It just depends on where we had to travel.
You had
and go
to sign up for it?
No. You just get your start, and then you just go from there, you know.
You have sponsors?
Oh, yeah.
Who'd you have?
Coy's Jewelers was my...
Is that right?
My number one. Yeah, Coy Keck was, man, he was good. And then, of course, my business furnished pretty much all of it, you know.
The rest of it.
Yeah, but Coy was good.
So did he want to be a sponsor?
Yeah, he did. He come to the racetrack one night here at Cleveland. Wes Rakestraw brought him. Matter of fact, Ludy's brother, brought him. And he come to me that night and he said, "I want my name on that car." And his name stayed on my car from, I don't know, I can't till the end of my career of it, you know. Yeah.
You've been friends with Ludy for a long time, haven't you?
Best friends since 7th grade.
At Bradley?
Bradley Jr., we started there. Still friends this day. Matter of fact, Ludy just got to retire. Ludy just retired.
Yeah, maybe a year or so ago, right?
Just a few months ago, yeah.
Isn't that something? He's retired and we're still working.
We're still working, yeah.
He's a good conversationalist, isn't he?
Yeah.
Tough, too,
We can
wasn't
talk to him, can't we, for a
we
while?
could, yeah.
Talk about him for a while,
Yeah.
you know?
he? Say, what are we going to talk about? Talk about Ludy. Is that his real name?
No, he's told
See,
me.
I ran with Toge.
Yeah.
His cousin, I guess.
Right, yeah.
I mean, all the time.
Ludy told me that his mother give him that name, you know?
But I wonder what his full name is.
It's Michael.
It's not Mike Rakestraw.
Yeah. But I can't think what his... I know what his middle name is, but it just ain't coming to me, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you know Toge?
Yeah, oh yeah. Matter of fact, I seen him. I seen him the other day there at Harrison Pike in Key Street, and rolled down the window, and he hollered at me, and I hollered at him.
You know, I was taller than him in high school, and after high school, he got taller than me.
Yeah.
They say you don't have growth spurts after high school, but Toge defied that, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's taller than you, I bet.
He might be. I don't know. He was in the truck. I can't remember what he said he was doing right now.
For drywall, maybe.
I can't remember.
I think maybe he's doing drywall finishing.
Yeah. It's funny, me and Ludy had just said something about him in just a few days, and then it always happens. You talk about somebody and they appear.
It never fails. Do you think it's because we're paying attention, or is it some kind of a trick?
I don't know.
You know, me and my cousin was wondering about that one time, and so I said, well, let's just think of somebody that we both know that we've not seen in 30 years. And we thought for a little bit, and we came up with this guy's name.
Right.
Neither one, we didn't know if he's alive or dead.
Yeah.
And would you believe he hit me up on Facebook one day?
Yeah.
Like a week later.
Wow.
What are the odds? I mean,
And you just thought of that person.
well, we just had to think of somebody that neither one of us knew him, seen him in 30 years, and that we didn't know if he was alive or dead or even living in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And then a week later, I mean, that's weird.
Yeah. Like a phone call. You can just, I need to call that person.
Yeah.
What happens?
Just
They'll
wait,
call
just
you.
wait. Yeah.
They'll call you. You
Boy,
know.
that never fails.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, did you play baseball at Fulbright?
I sure did.
That's where I think I met you. Whose teams you play on?
Well, I started
Because
out.
you was like a year older than me, weren't you, in the leagues?
I guess I was. My first coach, I can't remember if it was my first year to play at Fulbright. I can't remember what that first field, you know how they went around, you started,
Yeah.
was it, maybe it was a minor, and I can't remember how you went
Well, they had
around,
the
but you
T-ball.
ended up in a pony league,
You
you
know.
know.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
one,
But Johnny Evans, I'm pretty sure Scrap Evans' dad was my first coach there at Fulbright. And I believe it was twins.
probably was.
Was it
Back
twins?
left corner.
Yeah, back started over there. Yeah. Yeah.
I remember that. I guess we played against each other. I don't.
Yeah.
We weren't ever on the same team.
Yeah, no. Then I went to the next league. Next moved up and I was played for pretty sure it was the Tigers.
I think I was the Yankees.
Yeah.
Coach Geithner.
Yeah.
Because you had
Bill Geithner, wasn't
Bill
it?
Geithner.
Yeah.
You had 3 years you played on that.
Didn't he? He
league.
worked at the post office.
Post office. He was a rural post carrier.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Okay, and then that same year, I played maybe a year with the Tigers. And then, at that time, Odell Swafford had his own team down around Flint Springs, but they come up here and played at Fulbright.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Dad bought a house down in that area, so then when we moved in that area, I went to play for Odell Swafford.
And left Fulbright.
Indians. No, we played there, but we was based out of Flint Springs. Yeah,
And
down
Doug,
off Dalton Pike.
and Doug was the pitcher.
He sure was.
Well, he was a pitcher, wasn't he?
He'd go. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, he
but
was
I'm
a
gonna
pitcher.
tell you, and the name team was Indians. And Odell always called me. He said, "There's my red-headed Indian right there."
Well, they used to have the Flint Springs where they played all day. Remember that?
Yeah, that's where we practiced at. There at the ball field right there, that's where we practiced at. And I'm going to think his assistant was Bill Varnell. Best I can remember it was.
The guy
Mike Varner was on there.
Mike Varner, I remember
He was a
him.
hind catcher for Dale. Yeah.
I remember that now.
Yeah.
I think I might have been on one of Mike's teams.
Yeah. But every year, I guess I was fortunate. I was pretty good at baseball. And when I went through that, when it come time to go to the Pony League, I'd had all of it I wanted.
I made
And I
All-Stars
backed away from
I
it.
made All-Stars every year.
Yeah.
I don't know if they picked me because I would come or if I was,
Yeah.
but I got a trophy for the most home runs hit one year.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. That's
That's
right.
before everybody else started growing taller than me.
Yeah. Back then it was the Clarks who run Fulbright.
Clark, yep.
Yeah.
Remember the parades they'd have at the beginning where Corky Whitlock would
Yeah.
pray and they'd have the parade all the way down through town?
Yeah.
Boy, it was a big deal, wasn't it?
Yeah. My brother Terry, he played, in Pony League. I remember one year going with them. They won all the championship, and they was over at Hendersonville, won that. Then they ended up going like the next series down in Gulf Breeze, Florida, down in there. And I remember going and watching. And I can't remember, I won't think, what's one of the football announcers at Bradley now? He was coach there.
Earl Rowan.
Yes.
Earl Rowan.
He was one of the coaches.
Yep.
He was one of the coaches on my brother's team, and I remember going down there and watching that. You know,
So you didn't play on the pony leagues. I was on the Angels.
Was you?
The Angels. Brent Shadden, his brother. Brent Shadden
Yeah,
and his brother.
yeah.
And I can't remember the coach's name.
The year that my brother Terry went and done that, you ain't gonna believe he played for I believe it was the 45ers or whatever. One of his coaches one year.
49ers.
Yeah, or 45. I believe it was 45 or the 49ers.
I think it's 49ers.
But
I
I think the first or second year he was up there, Tobe McKenzie was his baseball coach. I'm telling you, he was.
If we'd only known, right?
Yeah.
Colt
Yeah.
45s.
Colt 45.
Was it? And
Or just the Colts.
And I can still remember Tobe driving that old baby blue Pinto.
Pinto with no shoes.
And been probably out delivering newspapers.
With
and
no
then
shoes.
coming
Remember,
to-
he never wore shoes.
Yeah. Wow.
That's something, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, were you working in the car business then? I guess you were helping your dad on weekends, right?
You know, ever since I can remember was old enough to go to the garages with my dad, I went. And I picked up the car business, and it's been good to me. You know, I've had my highs and lows, you know.
You ever wished you'd have just started selling them or do you sell them too?
That's all I do, yeah. Buy them and sell them.
Where you get how you get
Well,
them?
right now I'm running over in the North Carolina area, Charlotte area over in there.
So you buy like what, 50 or 20 at a time or something?
You know, I used to buy about 20 at a time, but now times has changed and they're harder to get and stuff. So, you know, if I buy 8 or 10 on that trip, I've had a good trip. But you know,
And so you bring them back, you fix them up,
yep,
and sell them to who?
other dealers. Yep,
Oh, so you don't sell them to individuals?
very rarely.
just don't
Somebody I might know.
You just don't want to, or what?
I never did.
Not your thing?
Yeah. No, retail lot wasn't me. You know.
Well, when you buy 8 or 10, how do you know? You can't drive them and see how they're running. You just pick
Yeah,
up hope,
they've
right?
got a little test track there. You can run them up and down. But you know, you buy one, man, how you think that's a good one?
Yeah.
You get it home, something else happens. Fix that, something else. But that's car business.
But you
know?
got to buy them cheap, I guess.
You try to.
Yeah.
Cars ain't cheap no more.
No,
Cars
the
are
used
not
car
cheap.
business is just is different. I remember they used to go down and just come back with tons of them. Now you can't. Remember when they was giving you cash for clunkers or something like that?
Oh, yeah.
That
yeah.
probably got rid of a lot of used cars.
It did get a lot of them. It did. And it kind of hurt the cheaper
Yeah, I'd
car
say
market.
so.
It did. You know, I can remember there used to be some $3,000 and $4,000 cars. I mean, that's what I would sell some of them for. The $4,000 car now are $7,000, $8,000. That's where they start at.
That's unbelievable.
Yes.
And a new car, of course, you can buy a car like I've got for $24,000, brand new with a warranty and 0% interest for. It's hard to beat that.
Yeah.
I guess if you don't have another 10,000, it's easy to beat.
Right. Yeah.
Have you fixed up about every kind of car? You know where the bolts are, where the screws are.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine one time. He said, Jeff, why do you buy Dodge and Chryslers? I said, because they make money. You know, he didn't like them personally, you know, but, you know, I don't, me, if I had a preference, of course, that's what I'm driving now, is a Lexus. So, you know, that's my preference, but I don't buy a lot of them to resell. I just don't.
I guess you can't. They're too expensive, right?
Yeah.
They'd be 20 grand used.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, easily.
Remember when the cars would go 300,000 miles back in the
Yeah,
early 80s, I guess, right?
yeah, yeah. And talking about car business, I hear that you had a car dealer icon on one time, JT Hahn.
Oh, I did, JT. Started a war.
Oh, did you really?
No kidding.
Oh, just about. Yeah.
Right,
I think
right.
they're still fighting over that.
Right.
I drove by your place one day and saw him out there. Has he come by some?
You know, and that's what I was going to say. It's very rarely I ever.
Well, he was just like driving down right beside. I could tell he's probably, I don't know, looking in or something, sitting.
Probably was, yeah, but very rarely he ever even. He may stop. If I see him, I'll speak to him because him and my dad were just about a year apart in age. Yeah. I think JT, I believe he's 90. Yes.
I believe he is.
He is.
Good shape for 90.
And you know when I seen him, and I asked him how he was doing, he said, well, not doing too good right now. This was just probably about a month ago, maybe not even a month ago. He was going to the mailbox and fell, he said. And I think he had 7 or 8 staples in his head, you know. I didn't know he was so soft. As he's getting older, he's getting,
I guess, yeah.
you know, but yeah, he was still out and about, you know.
Boy, Cleveland was big in the car business. Even where you're at is
Used to
Bondo
be
Alley.
Bondo Alley, yeah. Yep.
that'll name that road Bondo Alley.
That's what they called it, yeah. Yeah.
When you get so many cars in there, you have to park them on the side of the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many will you fix up in it?
I may have sometimes maybe 12 cars in the making.
So
know.
you don't have any customers like I do, building for people. You're
Well,
just your
I
own
do.
man.
No, I've got a man up in, I've got people up north that I sell cars to. Yeah.
But you don't have to have them sent to them, do you?
No, they send transporters in here. I sell them to them. I've been doing it for years. This one company I sell to, and they rely on me. You know, do I furnish all their vehicles? I can't, but I do supply them with a few cars. You know, and there's some dealers here in town that buy from me. You know. Yeah.
Wonder why you never wanted to deal with a customer, the individual. It's just
I just started out on the car sale side of it, and it just stayed with me. You know.
so you're selling to people that know the business, basically.
Yeah, I'm selling to other dealers, you know? Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good business. I envy you not having to worry about so many customers. Was your brother did he ever work at one of the sporting good places?
Superior Sporting Goods.
Superior Sporting Goods.
Yeah.
I bought a glove there one time.
Yeah, which was owned by Ed Coates.
And it was over there close to where you were on that slope.
Nah, he
Wasn't
was right there on Emmons Street.
Yeah, it's on the
Yeah.
kind of the way the road goes up.
Yeah, he was right across from Central Park.
Central
yes.
Park, yeah. What's
yeah.
he do now?
He worked, well, it's Car Distributed, and he worked for them, but now it's Cherokee, I believe.
So he's been there a long time.
30 plus years.
He was at Cooper's for a long time.
He never worked. I don't believe he worked there. He might have been, but I think he worked at Superior Sporting Goods.
Well, Superior, yeah.
Yeah. He worked there. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that was Cooper's, but it was Superior
It was
Sporting
Superior.
Goods.
Yeah.
I remember going
Ed
in and
Coates
buying a
owned
glove.
that. Ed Coates on that.
He was a real nice guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's taller than you, isn't he?
We're about the same height. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What, do you have a lot of homeless people walking through there? That's tough.
Boy,
isn't
we
it?
can talk for hours about this one.
What are you going?
You know.
What can you do, right?
You know, I used to have a heart for the homeless. I really did, Dee. I did. But until all that traffic that we get up and down through there, it's hard, but I have to just turn
It's
away
just a
from
constant.
it. Oh, that's a freeway.
It's
Yeah.
a freeway,
It's a freeway.
and you can tell them when you see them.
Yeah.
If you or me were walking on the road, I don't think they'd see me as homeless, but I can just tell her.
Yeah, well, if you had a backpack, I'd be able to know you was. Most of them, if they're carrying a backpack, that's the way I've started seeing it. If they've got a backpack, they're homeless, and I've started noticing that.
Where are they sleeping at?
Down that I don't know.
I mean, can you imagine?
And what's crazy is, I can tell if they're new in town or not because I see them.
Oh, you're that familiar with who's...
You see most of them around town, and it's just, we had a meeting down there probably a year and a half ago or something, maybe it's, I guess, year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, but we had a meeting on everybody in that area right there. It was me, of course, Johnny Holden. He's got interest where his place is.
At Mark Ashley, maybe?
Mark was there. Let's see, Eric Watson, he had his car lot over there at the time. The man's got the motorcycle shop, can't think of his name. But they were a whole table full of us, And what's sad is they've got more rights than we do as property owners.
Because all they're doing is walking.
The chief of police was there, of the city. He was there, and the city manager was there. He said, honestly, he said, we can ban them from your property, but that's all we can do. But we can't stop them. But, you try to get them not. I try, very rarely they come up and under there and mess with me, but, I see one boy that we went to school with. I see him walking up and down through there. And I don't know if he's not with it no more or what,
See, look, would he play at Fulbright too?
No, I don't think so.
I know who you're talking about.
I can't.
And I don't know if he's homeless, really.
Yeah. I don't know, but
And if they're just on the road walking, what's any business of ours, I guess.
Right. Yeah, I don't want to mess with them because I don't want to come back and revenge on me,
Yeah, right.
Retaliate, or something. So I just don't mess with them.
Just mind your own business.
Man, some of them come down through there and they talking.
To nobody.
I don't know who they talking to.
They just talk. I saw one at Central Park one day, and he was just carrying on a conversation with, they're mentally ill.
Who was he talking to?
He was just talking.
I know.
Like this.
I had one. This was a.
I thought maybe we're crazy. Maybe there is somebody there.
And I shouldn't laugh. But it's sad, and who knows what's going on in them?
Who knows,
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was coming down through the alley. I call it the alley.
Yeah.
It ain't Bondo Alley no more. Times have changed. Yeah. But the alley.
Yeah.
And he stopped right in front of my place, and me and boy that works for me, Alan. I said, Alan. He said, yeah. I said, who in the world is he? He just like he stopped in the middle of the road and he's like at somebody's door and he says, yeah. He said, come on in. I was like, who in the world is he? And he stopped in the middle of the road. I was like, I don't know who he's talking to.
It must be a real it's just it must be horrible for them.
I've got pictures. I think I finally deleted them here the other day. People used to come down, they'd go through my dumpster. And just wherever, when they'd go through my dumpster, wherever it would scatter is where they'd leave it. Then I'd come in and clean it up, But then I got some people go through it and they'll put everything back.
Those you don't bother.
No.
I just can't figure out where they're sleeping.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because you got to sleep.
Haven't they, I think like all this up in here behind Walmart and the Lowe's, I think
they... It's supposed to be a camp.
But I heard they stopped all that now. I'm not sure.
Every now and then, if you're at Panera Bread, you'll see somebody walk in with a cup that you're thinking, is that a new cup or an old cup?
Yeah.
Like they've just found a cup or something.
Right. There's some people that are homeless, and I do see walking. And I know they're homeless. And they get a nice check. but they're still homeless. I guess they've got an account somewhere they have to have.
They
You know?
have to.
Yeah.
You don't see them walking into the bank, though.
No. And I know they're homeless, Dee, because I know them, But that's what they want to be.
Some of them just want that.
Yeah. I've heard that. Lord, I'm
You ever get-
about there at 59, boy. I hope not.
Who knows?
Guess I've been, I've been blessed.
Did you have it rough in 08?
Yeah, car business, me and my dad still kept going, but we was really just, if we wasn't losing money, we was trading money.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. We
Yeah.
stayed alive. That was about it.
But so it was, you did feel it.
Oh, yes.
Well, I felt it. 08,
Yeah.
09, and beginning of 10.
Yep. Yeah.
I just had to start going back and doing what I started out doing. And
Yeah.
that seemed to see me through.
Yeah.
I had a guy that couldn't pay me $129,000 right at the end of 08.
Yeah. And needed that money.
Oh, I had to pay 80 of it out.
Yeah. Needed that money.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
and he didn't have it. Banks cut him off.
Right.
So, and even if you didn't need it, it was such a mental jolt that it sort of messed you up on the mental side. You couldn't even focus.
You know what's funny? I remember going to, getting cars ready and going to the car sale with them and get rid of that batch of cars, and you go buy more cars. Well, I hope I bought these right, But it was, I can't, it was a struggle.
I
remember that.
I didn't see it coming, did you?
No.
I tell you what my little quick story was, but it was at the end of 08, and it was October the 16th, and they were talking about how bad the economy is, and I thought, well, that's the bad builders. That's not me. I'm a good builder.
Yeah.
And I had 2 surveys for 2 doctors that was getting ready to build their building. So I had a year of working for a doctor. How you going to mess that up? The 17th, the next day, they both called and said, we decided to hold off since the economy was so bad.
Yeah.
And so I was stuck with just what I had going. And by January, that guy couldn't pay me. The bank cut him off. If I had to go over again, I'd just say, hey, the bank's got to deal with me too. I'm not going to let you open unless you pay me. That's what I'd have done, because they had the money. But
Yeah.
I didn't know. And so by the end of March, I had completed everything. And I had not been without a job since I was 16.
Yeah.
It's just a whole nother world for me.
Right.
And so I went to this bid thing where you go and they tell you what you're going to bid on and decide who gets the job.
Yeah.
And there were 23 contractors there, 23 general contractors for a $76,000 bathroom at Waterville School.
Really.
And I was walking through the wet grass, 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm not used to that. I'm used to people waiting on me, not me.
Yeah.
And the architect was barking the orders. You'll do this and you will do that. And my phone rung. And it was this guy that I had done multiple jobs for. And he said, hey, Dee, do you know anybody? He lived way out in McDonald. I mean, like the last house before you get into Ottawa, on an old road. I mean, you just don't go by there.
Yeah.
He said, Dee, I'm wanting somebody to change out my windows. Do you know anybody that would do that? I said, well, we're going to be down in that area next week. I mean, there wasn't nobody.
Yeah.
There wasn't even no houses around him.
Yeah.
I said, we could probably do it. And I went down there and did that in about 4 days and made $3,000 or $4,000. And I thought, that's what I got to do, just get back to doing that stuff.
Yeah.
And from March to the end of the year, I did 140 jobs under $12,000 and made $108,000.
But you made it.
I made it going just, and looking back, that was a pretty good year.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have a whole lot of stress.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of different jobs making,
Yeah.
Well,
like I said, we'd go buy cars and, come back and you'd fix them up, do all that. And you go to the car sale and it's like you're just trading money.
Yeah.
Or you lose money, you're just trading money. And then you go get another load and you hope but I was really, and I hope we're out of it, but I was afraid we might be going to go through another one.
Well, I'm seeing some little signs that I saw back in '08. Little bitty signs that, unless you're paying attention, you wouldn't notice.
Yeah. I've always heard, like car business and real estate, they kind of follow one another. I've always heard that.
Well, it's things you don't buy unless you either need them or it's a luxury.
Yeah.
And so I think what do they call that in the economics? Leading indicators, something like that, is the thing that happens first, and then rent's going up is the thing that happens last. So you can, if you see what's happening, you can see about how long this trend's going to work.
Talking about that, I mean, you take people that go out and eat. I don't know how some of these families do it.
You know what I did, now that you just thought about that this morning?
How some of these families do it.
I got up this morning about 7:30, and I thought, I'm going to go down to East Ridge and check this job I'm doing. So me and my wife rode down there with me, and somebody had to take pictures of it. I said, hey, if you'll come down there, I'm going to be down there. We can take those pictures, because we've been trying to get there all week.
Yeah.
He said, hey, I'm available. So he did, and so we're standing out there talking. I said, hey, let's go get a cup of coffee. So we went over to Crystal's in East Ridge, and I said, what do you want? He got it, and I got me a biscuit and him a biscuit. This was at Crystal's. You know how much it was?
$20.
$24.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have thought 7.
Yeah.
Two biscuits and 2 Cokes, and
Yeah. Unreal.
I mean, $24.
Yeah, it's unreal. Not no more of that anymore,
It just doesn't make sense.
I don't believe we'll ever get back to them. I mean, they've already set the market now,
They have to have it. I believe people like Crystal's, I think they got to have $24.
Yeah.
And they're paying property taxes and insurance and all this other stuff.
Out in the car market, I've seen some prices. They're not coming way down, but they're beginning to fluctuate somewhat. Now, what about building materials, Dee?
They're starting to come down.
Yeah.
And the people that are really backed up, that are going to be, usually call them about a month and a half before you need them, they can be there in a week or so.
So that's calming down.
That's what I'm seeing, just like you're seeing the cars.
Yeah.
Maybe not it's going up, but it's not surprising anymore or something.
Yeah.
I'm seeing little stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah.
But I think if you had to do it all over again, what would you get into?
I don't have a clue.
I mean, if you had to start today.
I really don't. I don't know. I don't know.
I believe I could figure out something, because we couldn't hardly do what we're doing now.
Not that I needed to, but of course I graduated from Bradley Central High School in '84, as you did.
Yeah.
I never went on to college, but I've not had no need for it, so I never did that.
I went and got in line at Cleveland State, and the line was so long, and some teacher came by and said, something. And I said, this line's too long. And so he said, well, you just ought to leave. And so I just turned around and left.
Did you really?
I didn't go back.
Yeah.
I thought maybe he's right.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have helped us.
Yeah.
In what I'm doing.
Talking about my business being Jeff's Auto Transport. Well, we used to have our own transporters and stuff, but then everything just got outrageous, and it was cheaper for me to have my cars hauled. So I did. Mm-hmm. But I guess probably 2 years ago, a friend of mine, Chris Pendergrass, owns Southern Transport.
Yeah, I know Chris.
He's got, I don't know, he probably 9, 10, 11 trucks now, big car haulers. Mm-hmm. And he called me and asked me could I go haul some for him. So for the last 2 years, every once in a while, I go get in a truck and go haul some cars for him if I can. But and I enjoyed getting back in a truck and going down the road and just doing that. Yeah. I always liked big trucks and stuff, but I enjoyed that.
Would you ever be a big transfer truck driver?
It's not bad, be out on the road,
Go places, have to stay for 2 or 3 days and sleep in the cab.
It's not bad, but back when I was doing it all the time, it was the old American truck drivers, what I remember.
Yeah.
And when I helped Chris, like I said, I started doing that about 2 years ago. I hadn't had to drive for him since Christmas of last year. He's full up on drivers,
Yeah.
I run into him the other day. I said, hey, if you don't care, go ahead and give me advancement on my next load. He laughed, But I pull in truck stop to get fuel or something. I'm talking truck stop. I'm talking about Loves, Pilots, those stuff. And the great American truck drivers ain't there no more.
They're not the same, are they?
There isn't any. You can't understand them. They're wearing flip-flops and turbans, and it's just people you would never know driving a truck is what is out there on the road now.
Used to they have the billfold with the chain, remember?
Chain driven billfold, but and it's
truck drivers always did that, didn't they? That was like the only business that
cowboy
had that.
boots, and had
Yeah. You remember watching the Little Rascals when Alfalfa Spanky said Alfalfa said he was dressed up like a cowboy, and Spanky said, "Oh, you're just a drugstore cowboy."
Oh wow. Yeah.
Or he said, "You got yours from a drugstore," or something like that. Boy, that was funny, wasn't it?
Yeah. Now I just, if I want to go on a trip or something, I'm going to go do it, because we never know when it might be our last one,
I went to, I'm same way about, what was it, Gwen? Not last weekend, but 2 weeks ago. I just got in a plane, me and my wife, and went to Tucson, Arizona.
I've never been out that way.
Oh, man, it's 98 degrees, no wind, and everything out there spread out.
Yeah.
I'm talking like if we was at a table, you'd be another foot away. There's just like not that many people there.
Yeah.
And so we got in a rental car, and I drove down to a place called Bisbee, Arizona. And it's the wild, wild west.
Really?
And when on the way down there, I called and I got the nicest room they had in Bisbee. And it had I got the only room with its own bathroom.
Wow.
And it had a shared kitchen, shared living room. And it was so hot that night, we raised the window, and they were just, I guess they had parties in the streets or something, but somebody was outside talking so loud I couldn't sleep. And I'm not going to get on to anybody in Bisbee, Arizona.
Yeah.
The guy came over and shut my window.
Really?
Because they were talking so loud. They just shut my window for me.
Now that you always hear, well, there's no humidity out there, and it ain't.
There's none.
But it's still hot.
It's hot, but it's just like being under a heat lamp. It's okay. But they had all kinds of. It's like a Gatlinburg with no rules or something.
Yeah.
And I went to walking by this one place and met a guy named Magic Kenny Bang Bang. Anyway, he was a magician, and I was sitting. It was a room full of people, and he was doing his show, and he was standing right here, and I was sitting right here beside him, and he takes a piece of paper. I'm serious. He takes a piece of paper and lights it with a lighter, and then he was holding 2 donuts, 2 glazed donuts.
Magic.
I mean, it was just like he went like this, and the next thing he was holding 2 glazed donuts. I never seen nothing like it.
You know, we've been cruising a lot. I don't know. I'll say
the
a
cruises,
lot.
yeah.
About 4. We do 3 or 4 a year.
I like a cruise.
And our cruising partners, Lamar and Tammy Scott. Do you know
yeah.
them? And there's a man that we've met him on a couple of Carnival. Does magic. He comes around at your dinner table.
Yeah.
And I'm amazed at what he can do.
It's ugly. And I'm the skeptic.
You know, he would take something and put a dot on something or whatever, and then he'd give it to Janet, my fiance, give it to her, put it whatever, and he'd put it in his wallet or do something, you know, and then next thing you know, it would end up somewhere else. I ain't got a clue.
I'm sure it's not magic, but I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
I don't know where he got these 2 donuts. They were glazed donuts.
Out of a piece of paper.
He just went like that, and then he was holding 2 donuts. And he didn't do this or nothing.
Yeah.
I just still can't get over it.
He didn't make you eat them donuts, did he?
No, I was wondering if they were, because then you'd know they was real, because I thought maybe they were.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right. But they appeared.
They just appeared.
Right.
But then we went down to the border, Naco, Mexico. Went, and I said, can we go across? They said, sure. And I said, well, you know, I'm going like this, you know, I don't have any weapons or nothing.
Yeah.
They just asked me for my ID.
Yeah.
I just went on across, and it was Sunday morning, wasn't much going on. Ate lunch, came back across, and there was a girl standing there with a machine gun, just a girl.
Yeah.
With a real machine gun.
Right.
So they're more strict over there than we are. But we just went back across and then went back to Tucson. And
Yeah.
But you think going out a town like that is, you think it's, I mean, why a cruise? Or is it just a matter of getting away from here?
I guess getting away. You know, one thing about it, when you're on the boat, you know where you're going to be. You ain't got to worry about going to dinner.
I like the
Ain't gotta
schedule
drive
of
here or
I like
something.
the
Yeah.
schedule of a boat
Yeah.
because it's dinner time and.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how long are the cruises?
We just come off a 7-day.
See
Matter of
that?
fact, just come back Sunday. Yeah.
See, that would be just
Just come
about
back
too
Sunday.
much for me. Too long.
It goes by pretty quick. I like a 5. I'm good with a 7, but I like to do a 5, you know.
So you have to make sure you get the cars done that you need to get done.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, I've got an employee down there, and he's good. He's good with me.
Just
so.
one?
Just one. Yep. Yep.
Can't pay him enough, right? One of those
No,
employees.
he does good.
Yeah.
He does good. He
So
does good.
I think that with me, 2 nights, 3 full days, and I'm good.
That ain't enough, D.
That's enough for me. It
That's
really
for
is.
you, yeah. You know, we went on a 4-day, I think before this one or something, and that wasn't enough, you know. So, matter of fact, I was looking online at some cruises before I come up
Before you-
here, you know.
But where did you get on the boat at?
New Orleans.
So you had to fly to New Orleans?
No, we drove down to there.
So from the time you left your house to the time you said, okay, we're in our room, I'm going to guess it was 12
Well, we drove down the night before and we stayed
because
at
you
a
about
hotel.
had to.
Yeah.
Because you about
Yeah.
had to.
Yeah, it's about 7.5 hour run. Yeah, we rode on down the road. Me and Lamar, we getting it down through there.
y'all take turns driving?
I did. We did going down, but and I can get into this, but my sister passed away my last day on the cruise, and we went down the night before and asked them if we could get off boat early. Lamar did, and they got us off as early as they could when we got back, and he drove all the way back, which I hated to have to let him do that, but he did, so.
How did you get them to bring the boat back in?
Well, they didn't, but once we got to port,
Oh.
instead of us not getting off till 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, we got to get off. I think we got off right at 7.
Because they scheduled the getting off.
Get offs, yeah.
So he just hauled ass back to Cleveland.
Yeah. Didn't make it, but we tried, Yeah.
What
Yep.
was she getting? She hadn't passed away yet.
She had passed away, unfortunately, like at 3:30 Sunday morning, so. But yeah, I was trying to get back. Yeah. But yeah, I enjoy cruises. We go to Fort Walton Beach a lot. We go down there a lot. That's a nice little drive down,
What's that, about 7.5 hours too?
We can be there in about 6 hours, 15 minutes, 6 hours, 30.
speeding.
That's just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, Yeah.
Well, a cruise is a good value. That's probably as good a
It
value as you can get.
Yeah. Yep, it is.
But I just like getting away.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
where else would you want to go?
We go to Cabo, Mexico. We go there once a year.
You have to have a
Yeah.
visa.
Well, yeah.
How far down in Mexico is that?
Gosh, it's I think it's about. They told us about 1,250 miles out of California, out of San Diego and stuff.
So that's
Somewhere right in there.
down
Yeah.
below Yuma, they call it. Yeah.
That's on the, what is that? Is
That's
that the Pacific? Yeah, Baja. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But we like it there. You really don't get in the water. Just a very few places you can get in the water there. Because of undertow and stuff, they got designated areas you can get in. But it's just, I don't know what it is about Cabo. I took Janet there on her one of her birthdays, and we've been going back every year since. So we like it there. It's just.
Well, if you know how to get there and you know the routine, that makes it a little bit easy, especially when you're going out of the country. I always You ever watch that abroad shows? Imprisoned Abroad and all those things. I always worry about what's the name of those shows.
I don't know.
Locked Up Abroad.
Yeah. But yeah, it's we got off the ship there at one of the ports we was at here last week, and it's just like, man, I would hate to think I got locked up over here, And you're locked up, and what are you going to do?
Well, you can't even get a lawyer here, much less there.
Yeah, it's scary, and there's a lot of stuff going on in different parts of Mexico, So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, where I was at, I felt real safe, but I knew that there wasn't anybody around. There wasn't anybody going to help me if there was trouble.
Right.
So, but they have a different way of living in Mexico, don't they? It's just all different. But if you're at the resort, I guess you don't get to see that, right?
Well, we get out and about. Since I started going there, there's a friend of mine went there before us. First time I ever went, and he gave me a man's name that he got to know and would take him different places, And ever since then, when I go, I call him, my flights, where we're going, anywhere in town we want to go, he'd be the one to take us,
Well, you had to pay him something?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but, that's his business to do that. But, we really got to know him and like him, and, so I've already got my trip ready for January 25, so,
I'm wanting to go to Las Vegas here next month, maybe, because that's easy.
Yeah.
You can get a flight there about any time.
And a good time to go because the weather's changed.
The weather's changed.
Yeah.
And I'm going to drive down to Death Valley. You ever heard of it?
I haven't done that.
They say it's the hottest place in the United States. If you look it up online right now, it's like 112. I like hot.
Yeah.
I can't stand to be cold, and I can't stand the rain.
Yeah. But, I like going there, there about 3 days gets me there. So,
Me and my wife went somewhere, and we got stuck. And all we could do was walk through a drugstore that had a little coffee shop we had the best time. Just couldn't do nothing else but just walk around. It was So I'm not sure if it matters where you're going.
Yeah, I'm not a big gambler, but just going in them casinos, going in this hotel, and coming out, going right to the next one, just sightseeing.
That's what I like to do. I like to see. I'm a people watcher, I guess you could say. Yeah. Now, me and my cousin went down there to Las Vegas. And as soon as we got there, we rented a car, and we went out to Rachel, Nevada. You ever heard of it?
No.
It's about 3-hour drive from Las Vegas, population 60. And that's where you can take that road to go to Area 51.
Huh.
And we drove 3 hours, saw about 5 cars. Got to Rachel, Nevada, population 60, ate a hamburger, drove to where the black mailbox is. It's some significant. Drove on a gravel road for like 40 minutes, and then got on a dirt road for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And reached that sign that said, "Do not pass or deadly force will be used," and there was a truck there.
Yeah. Is that the Air Force or something in there?
It's where they, Area 51, where they have the aliens, supposedly.
Yeah. I had a friend of mine, he drove out there to that and stuff.
Well, they won't let you in.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he drove out there to it, but he wanted to drive to it.
That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to see if I could go in.
I would like to go, and I hadn't done it, is maybe go to the Grand Canyon. Of course, you fly over it either going or coming, and you can see it, but they say that just don't do the justice of it.
I like to go on adventure stuff, something that has some significance. I found this place that's outside of the Grand Canyon called Supply, Arizona. And it's an Indian reservation. It's the most desolate community in the United States. You can only get there by helicopter or an 8-mile hike.
Yeah.
Now, why do I want to go up there?
I don't believe I want to go down in the Grand Canyon. And they say, ride the donkeys down in there or whatever.
I wouldn't do that.
But, then some say just take the helicopter from right there in Vegas, ride it out, and go down in it, and then come back out. I don't know.
I wouldn't want to ride an animal on that steep. I'm too familiar with broken feet.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? I can see it.
Yeah.
But don't they have some people live down at the bottom of that?
No, I'm not sure.
I think they do. Yeah. Because that's where they moved the Indians to places like that. They said, "Hey, here we got a real good place in Supply, Arizona. It's 120 degrees and no water."
I remember when Evel Knievel jumped the Grand
Canyon. Yeah. Jumped the Grand Canyon. Yeah. Boy, it was a big deal, wasn't it? That didn't look like
no motorcycle to me when he
jumped.
jumped.
Then he had a parachute on it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Let's see, what was it?
He almost made it, didn't he?
Yeah, and I think he had to deploy the helicopter.
Yeah.
Boy, he had a run, didn't he?
Yeah.
What year was that? 78 or something like that?
Somewhere in there, 76, 78, I remember one of them toys I had that wind up.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, he'd shoot up that thing.
Jumped all those broke every bone in his body or something like that.
Yeah, I was an Evil fan, I enjoy it, Wide world of sports. Here goes Evil, so yeah.
He was like a Elvis Presley for sports.
Boy, that's another story, Elvis. I'm a big Elvis man.
Well, I was too.
Yeah. I've been to Graceland 4 or 5 times now.
I've been once.
We was there.
Where was you when he died?
My dad had a shop on Johnson Boulevard,
Uh-huh.
and I can remember it as plain as day. And my dad had a business and a shop over on Johnson Boulevard, and that was where I remember I was there with him.
Was you 14? About 14?
God, I don't believe I was 14 at the time. I don't know. So
When did Elvis die, Gwen?
77, wasn't it?
77. You'd have been 12,
Yeah.
13.
Yeah. Yeah. You know where the shop is there on Johnson Boulevard where he's got like antique car out and old phone booth stuff? My
Gas
dad was,
pumps?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad was in that shop at that time.
Is that right?
Right there. Yep. Yep, sure was.
Did you live close to there?
Well, at that time that was when we were living down off Keith Valley Road, so I could play baseball for Odell.
Keith
at that
Valley.
time.
Boy, that was all. Was that way down Keith Valley?
Pretty good ways. Yeah.
Well, I bet I hadn't been down Keith Valley Road in 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the middle of nowhere. I guess it still is. isn't it?
Back when I was a kid, it seemed like it took forever to get down there.
Forever.
But now it's not too bad now,
Did they still have that little store down on Keith Valley Road about midway on the left? Mm-mm. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Little white building?
Yeah.
I guess it was an
Yeah.
area store at the
Yeah.
time or something.
Yeah,
I
I
don't even
have
know
to-
if it was open.
There's a business I go down there to a battery place down there and
At
pick
that
up
same
batteries.
spot?
No, he's on down.
Oh.
He's pretty good ways down through there. Yeah.
Did you ever go down to Clara's and get a lottery ticket
Yep. Yeah.
and play you ever do the pegs?
No, I
You know,
never
where you-
did that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The peg board?
Yeah. Yeah, I never did that.
You know what I'm talking about, though. You take that thing and punch it out.
Yeah. You know what's funny when, Tennessee didn't have a lottery. Well, we'd go down to Claire's and play.
Yeah.
But now Tennessee's got it. I hardly ever play it.
I don't even play it.
Yeah.
I don't even waste. I hate to get behind somebody buying a ticket.
Yeah. Yeah.
We could have won.
Yeah.
But there was Clara's, but on Blue Springs it was on Dalton Pike. It
Dalton
was
Pike was Claire's. Yeah.
Which
Then-
one was Blue Springs or Spring Place?
I forget what name that one was right across the line down there. Can't remember.
It
what
wasn't Clara's too.
I don't.
See, they had the tip boards.
Yeah.
That's why you didn't play but that would have been where you'd have gone if you'd have gone on down Spring Place.
Down
I
Spring
guess.
Place. Yeah. I can't remember what the name of that store was. Don't remember.
So when y'all did y'all move up in town?
We moved back in town. At that time it was behind the chalet in Valley Hills.
Mm-hmm.
The old water slide was still up there.
Yeah.
We could go out our back door and I could look over and see the water slide.
Yeah.
God, I've been down that many a time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we moved there in 78.
I went down the water slide one time.
That one up there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
remember what songs they played on the radio?
No, I ain't got a clue.
You don't remember?
No.
Steely Dan?
Yeah, they probably did, yeah. I don't know.
That's the only thing I remember, sliding down that side, they were playing Steely Dan on the radio.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it was, we moved
Well,
to
that's a
Valley
big
Hills.
move, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, from
Keith
one end of
Valley.
the county to the other.
And from two different cultures, I guess,
Yeah, I went from Truett District.
to Adam Gage.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember, we was up there, I remember when they moved into town, of course, his dad come in here with M&M Mars,
Adams?
Adam's dad, yeah. Yeah. M&M Mars.
So you were already living there when he moved in?
Yeah, they moved down. They lived down on Timber Trace on Tennessee Nursery Road there.
I thought they lived on the right as you went down the hill.
No, as you
Well,
go
look,
down,
I've been to his house.
the way you could go down Tennessee Nursery
Yeah.
Road, you can turn in Timber Trace.
Yeah.
That way, they lived in between where they go in and out. They lived right there.
I've been to his house.
Yeah.
But I
They
thought it
lived
was-
on Tennessee Nursery Road, though. Yep. But that's what brought that family in was
Yeah.
M&M Mars.
Is that where your family still lived?
They lived that's where they passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mom, my dad both are passed away. Yeah. Yep.
Boy, it was hard getting out there in the snow, wasn't it? Did you go back to Harrison Pike or the other way?
It just depends if it was bad. You know, I've seen my dad before I was driving or whatever, boy, he'd come off that hill just to get me. He'd try it, you know.
Yeah.
And if he couldn't, he'd go down Tennessee Nursery Road, you know. So.
Well, Tennessee Nursery Road at the time was a rougher road.
Oh yeah, there was nothing there.
No, and it did at one
But
time.
the old gazebo, mostly.
The old
mostly,
gazebo,
yeah.
it was haunted. Remember how they used
That's
to say
what
it was
they
haunted?
said, yeah.
At one time, you had to go across the water to get through.
Huh, yeah.
They used to
But
have
there used not be nothing down through there, you know.
nothing till Jim Sharp came along,
Right?
except the
Yeah.
Dog and Suds. Remember that? The Dog and Suds?
Oh yeah, out there on Harrison
Yeah.
Pike, yeah. yeah. That stuff's gone, you know.
You ever get burned out of doing what you're doing?
Oh sure, yeah.
You're going to just keep doing what you're doing? Working on cars? You don't know nothing else, do you?
I guess I'm gonna hang in there till it's
How
till
come
it's
you
time.
got into cars and your brother didn't?
You know, they wanted to, but it just never was their game. And then I had another brother, which Charles, he passed away in March of 22. He was helping me along.
Was he younger?
No, he was older. I'm
Oh.
the youngest out of 4 kids. I'm the youngest. And he always hung around and stuff, but he always mechanic, done different things, but he never was got in a business with my dad,
Yeah.
you know. You know, I guess I was blessed. Me and Dad got successful at it, you know.
Hey, where do you order parts? Don't you have to have a bunch of parts like
I just
fenders and and
Man,
stuff?
you call up and you order them and they're there at your place the next day, next couple of days. You
Not
know?
a big deal.
No.
Where you order them from?
But you know, when the pandemic hit, it was hard to get parts.
But not now.
It's gotten better.
See what I'm saying? It's starting to catch
It's
up a little
gotten,
bit.
yeah, it's catching up, you know. But when I don't know, I believe they went back to work. These container people was going on strikes. You know, a lot of parts come in on them. And they was talking about automotive parts. And I said, oh no, here we go again. But I think they kind of done settled something throughout the first of the year.
I hadn't heard
think.
nothing about it. I hadn't heard nothing more about that.
Yeah.
Do you have a bunch of screws, a bin for a bunch of screws, like for different types?
I do.
How do you?
And then I've got bins that got mix match in it, you know.
You just have to go find it.
Yeah. You just the years of doing it, you know what you need, you know.
Well, you know, you for somebody to come in and take over your business, they would already have a lot of that stuff,
Yeah.
screws and stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, that's got to be worth something, doesn't it?
Yeah. They wouldn't think so, but I do. Being in the business I'm in, you know.
What do? Eat lunch there every day, or you go out?
I don't eat lunch.
Just
I
skip it?
I work through it, yeah.
What time do you get there in the morning?
It just depends, different times. I can get there as early as I need to, and a lot of times I'll stay a lot later than I need to. But owning your own business, we got to, you know.
Just do whatever happens.
Yep, I do.
All right. Well, anything else?
No, I've enjoyed it though.
Yeah, I'm glad you came.
I really didn't. I really didn't know about this, but it was all right.
Well, I know it was different for your sister, but
Yeah.
I have to line these up. You know, I'll get about 26,000 a week views.
Really,
Yeah.
it's amazing. Well, I hope somebody like
Well, if you needed
today.
any business, you could ask for it, but you don't need any business.
I'm good. It takes all I can do to do what I'm doing right now. It really does.
Yeah.
You know,
What about Brittany? Did we talk about Brittany?
Brittany.
Yeah, your niece. Is it Brittany?
That was my brother that passed away. His daughter.
Yeah, that's right. I
Yeah.
know her. She worked for TL.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And Charles' ex-wife,
That's
also
right.
Barbara. Yeah.
Barbara's
Yeah.
daughter.
Yep, that's it. Yep.
She's dating Mitchell.
They're married.
Oh, married, yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, it's a small world, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, I was in Chattanooga, and I went into Panera Bread, and in walks Brittany. I think she's living there
She
now.
lives in Rossville.
Well, the odds of me seeing her there was just uncanny.
She lives. I'm pretty sure it's in Rossville. I've talked to her through text and stuff.
She's so
everything.
smart, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was
Smart.
good. She was good.
All right, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey,
Dee,
thanks
thank
for
you.
coming.
Thank
I
you, Dee.
appreciate it.